Jessie G, where the possibilities never end.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Creative Squirrels Studios. My name is Jessie Gonzalez. I am the founder, creative strategist for Studio Jessie G. I have my good friend here, Miss Mariah Caldwell. We've been colleagues, friends, and we work together in a lot of great stuff. Recently, Miss Mariah has been part of a really big, I want to say big, because as soon as I read it, I was like, oh my God. I was like, definitely, I feel heard, I feel seen. They're called, correct me if I'm wrong, portfolio, say it again, Mariah. I'm so sorry.
Portfolio careers.
Portfolio careers. And from my understanding, and Mariah, I'll give it to you here in a bit, but my understanding is this is the way I took it. I've been trying to place myself in like how does my creative field come into play where I feel kind of like an octopus. I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. And this article just explained it perfectly. It's you're dabbling in a lot of things and also bringing in a lot of streams of revenue that are either passion projects or you're just expanding your wavelength everywhere. And not just solidifying down to one, is it niche?
I would say niche, yeah.
Niche. Okay, and then not to one niche, but just like really expanding your horizons. But yeah, Mariah, please take it away on this what is it again? I'm so sorry. Portfolio.
Portfolio careers, yeah. No, I think you hit it on the head, especially that I think it's available to everybody, but
Mhm.
particularly creatives, I think are the ones that brought it to the forefront because I've never met a creative person who's like, no, I only do photography and I won't touch anything else. Like they're so multifaceted and it sits at I think the reason it's becoming so popular, and we talked about this before we started recording, is that it's almost out of necessity and passion. And that we
Yeah.
do live in a world where a lot of people have a second job or they have a side hustle. And very rarely do people, they're an accountant during the day and they're an accountant at night. They pick something else because they need a release. They have a passion project. Maybe they want to write a book or something like that. And so they get to explore other areas about themselves. And it just
Yeah.
becomes, they're like, hey, that the other side project made me a lot of money. I'm also really excited about gardening. Let me try that. And it just evolves into like a way of doing work. It allows you some freedom with your time. I know a lot of people that are, parents and need that flexibility. That's where it comes a necessity for them as well. So I think creatives really set the forefront, not to like, brag for an entire type of person, but as what I'm
Yeah.
like, heck yeah, we did that.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting that kept coming into mind when I was reading the article is like I think that's that whole statement comes into play of like if you work into something that you like, you never feel like you're working or something like that. I'm paraphrasing a lot.
Yeah, I know the
But
quote that you mean.
yeah. Then I was like, oh yeah, like I could see that because like speaking for myself, like I'll do paintings on the side and it doesn't really feel like work, but once I get that cash, it feels like work, right?
Yeah,
I was like, oh, thank
exactly.
you. Thank you for the little treat. But I was like, oh, this is interesting. I was like, I could see where this is being very beneficial, but at the same time too, would you say it's a little controversial, especially being like someone that's like I guess someone's hiring like a full-time employee and they see that they have this multifaceted, different jobs. Do you think there might be a little controversy there or a little setback?
Yeah, I think it's a little taboo still. It also depends on what sector you're in. There's a lot of people like if you're doing finances or anything like in the engineering world, they do not want generalists. They do not want people that are like multifaceted in that regards, at least in their professional career. They don't really care if you do triathlons or something on your spare time
Yeah.
because they expect that type of person to have just like a really not narrow mindset, but it's so specialized that they want all of your attention on it. So I can see that being an issue. But a lot of industries do value the fact that you can bring in a different mindset and look at it from a different point of view. And that's what, like a lot of creatives, if you're
Yeah.
designing something, you may take inspiration from, when you go mountain climbing or something like that and you see the mountains and the colors and that influences you. But having that conversation sometimes, especially because we don't get a lot of time with recruiters,
Yeah.
and with AI and our resumes, it can look very sporadic and like you're a job hopper, even if, five of those jobs happen to be at the same time. And you're like, I'm a pro at managing my time. Like you should see this as a plus, not
Yeah.
that I'm a flight risk. That's also
Yeah.
where like how you manage like fractional being a freelancer is a different way of facilitating work versus having to work 40 hours for a company.
Yeah. And you hit one of the questions I've been want to ask you. So I have some of the questions here on the side. And AI is changing the marketing faster than most that we've seen. How do you think AI impacts the idea of portfolio careers?
I don't think there's anything in this world that we can get away with or away from AI on either fortunately or unfortunately, kind of depends on your opinion on it. I think that the biggest like roadblock for people that are in portfolio careers is going to be that resume as they're applying for things, or even the fact that like a lot of recruiters use LinkedIn or what it may be to get your opportunities. You have to go through a computer first. But on the flip side, it does allow a lot of people to produce faster in whatever
Yeah.
that may be. So it allows them to, say you only want to work 40 hours per week, but you have 5 things. You now need to cut that 40 hours up into either equal or like proportional parts to how much money it's bringing in you. So it is a tool for them as well. It
Yeah.
just kind of depends on what you're doing and how big of a role it plays in. We obviously work in design and marketing and all of that. And it's, my husband is an engineer and he kind of complains and he's like, oh, I don't want AI all up in my grill and stuff. And I was like, marketing, you essentially have to use it or you're going to lose your job. It's just
Yeah.
the way in which you use it. So kind
Yeah.
of a double-edged
And that
sword.
and that's been the thing that I've been noticing a lot when I've been doing either like interviews or just meeting up with clients is that was like been one of the first top 3 questions is how do I use AI and how do I use it with my workflows? And I was like, oh wow, like I've 5 years back, I would have never been asked that question.
Yeah.
It would have been more
It would
of
even like negative.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you used AI. Oh no, out. And now it's like, wait, come here, come
Yeah,
closer.
we need that and anything else.
Yeah. And then I kind of want to go back a little bit because there was a question that came up that I was like, this is actually really, really good because I've been kind of going through it. Um, I noticed that when I do apply for like jobs that are like 9 to 5 type of thing, I've always been fearful of how does it look like that I have my LLC, my business, Studio SEG, and that I'm doing all these contract works and also doing a 9 to 5. Does that hinder it? What's your take on that?
So right now I'm fully fractional, but I definitely I've been doing fractional work since like 2018. So there's been moments where I've also had a 9 to 5 during that. And I think a lot of companies, when they're interviewing, do look at it negatively.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, my personal opinion is if it's not competing either with the audiences or with the time, I don't think it should be a factor. And in fact, like I've had people come to me, Jessie being one of them, where we went to hire her full time, and she's like, "Actually, I would love to like keep doing fractional work." And I was like, "You know what? Hell yeah, I'm gonna hire somebody based on their ability to produce and their creativity and their ability just to like fulfill what we need, not because I need your butt in a seat for that long." So really,
Yeah.
you're looking for a company that understands that versus you got to clock in for 40 to 45 hours, and who knows what you'll produce during that time. So I think it is a
Yeah.
hindrance, but I think we're edging that way with this new wave of companies as like Gen Z and millennials take over.
Yeah. And that's one of my good friends and I we were talking about that the other day in regards because she owns her own business too. And she's like, all I really care about, she's like, I don't believe in this 40 plus
Yeah.
hours. Just get the job done by this day. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense. But I get it too. You know what I mean? When there's certain companies that operate differently, right? Like how you were saying, like engineering is very
Yeah.
this
They have
instead
very
of like
specific times.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I totally get that. So I kind of want to ask you more in like in the marketing aspect of it.
Yeah.
As a marketer, do you have any experience across multiple industries? I think you kind of touched on it, but I just kind of want to go more into it. And then actually something that makes like so your primary job and multiple as marketing. Hope that makes sense.
So primarily, and you can chop up how I answer this, obviously. So my primary industry that I work in is B2B SaaS. That being
Hmm.
said, and you've experienced this, I know you get people that come to you because they see what you do online. That's kind of where the personal branding aspect comes in. And they're outside of your
Yeah.
industry and they start asking you questions, and you should always charge what you're worth and for your time. And so I've ended up in other places as well. I did a long stint in aesthetic dental work, which was an interesting place to be. So I've been with a lot of
Oh,
dentists. I've done some real estate as well and some healthcare tech. I think you will always have your favorite, but kind of if you look at like what you do as a pie, it could be
yeah.
80% one thing, but then you're like, man, I'm really sick of looking at API like graphs and graphic design. Like, yeah, show me some
Yeah.
teeth. That's all I need.
Yeah.
So I think it just really depends on what you're looking for. That's what I have found the niche that I do like. But on the side, like I have what I would call like a mini portfolio career in that like I'm writing a book. I am also a painter. I'm trying my
Yeah.
hand at being an influencer as well. So like for me, the idea of a portfolio career, even as a marketer, sometimes you get sick of doing what you love and you want to try something else out. So that's kind of where
Yeah.
you can play around.
And you nailed it right on the money because that's something I wanted to talk about is like your personal brand.
Yeah.
Because everything that like for example that I'm doing, at the end of the day, like it's me, right? I'm
Yeah.
the whole part right there. How do you think how important do you think is it to actually really refine that personal brand rather than all the other things? Or do you think it needs to be balanced between both?
I think you really do have to refine it. Here's how I look at it is that like every action has a reaction, and that's the same both in culture within the work world as well. And that we for a time focus so hard on niching down, whether that be for company or people. And like that is what SEO and now AEO want us to do. They're like, oh, your keywords are specific, like for accounting, software marketing, that's all you do, and that's how you're going to get business. But if you're doing multiple things, how do you balance that? How do people find you? If you're going to make like a
Mm,
portfolio website or this, you have to be able to talk about it in a way and get the message out that you do multiple things. And the only way you're going to do that, because like I own Rainy Media LLC, I may own this, I may own this, but they're not connected by anything other than like my face and how I talk about things online. So your personal brand
mm,
really is like the center of that spider web or the center of the Venn diagram that connects all these things together. And depending how like disparate the systems and the topics are, it might be easier or harder, but how you
yeah.
show up is really the only way people are going to remember it. And they may find you for something really weird and they're like, wow, like I don't even know what it would be. She's the best dog walker I've ever had in my life. And you know what? My
Yeah.
company does need marketing. And that's like, that
Yeah.
is how you get a funnel by that networking and that authenticity, which is now with the rise of AI video and just like
Yeah.
the way people do sales online with like automated LinkedIn outreach. I'm saying this is a marketer who has set this up many times. But at the end of the day, you don't
Yeah.
actually know if there's a person behind that. So having that connection is really the important part.
Yeah. And you know what? Like right now that just popped into my head. I was like, I've had situations when I started in my career that yeah, there was a company that wanted a lot of, more of the expertise, more than I at the time can handle. But because of how I showed up, they hired me because of that.
Yeah.
Because of me, right? And I think really fine-tuning your personal brand and how you show up, like that's what's gonna grab people for you. Because there's like, well, she might not know it, or he might not know what he's doing at this point, but can he figure it out? Can she figure it out? They figure it out? Yeah, why not? Yeah, they'll do
And I think it
it.
offers you some flexibility as well. Like, quite honestly, like we had a recruiter that brought me Jesse, and so she came back, and the recruiter was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. She wants to be fractional. Like, is that a problem?" I was like, "Honestly, I don't. All I want is Jesse. However she wants to work with us, that's fine." Because I liked you, and I knew that like you could do the job really well. And I was like, "She only wants to work 5 hours. That's fine. I need her for 5 hours. Like, nobody
Yeah.
else just need her. So like, if you're
Yeah.
showing up and they like you, you get you. What is it at the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Like, so you got to be loud. You got to be out there so that people understand and like you. And it weeds out people who don't like you. If they're like, oh, Mariah
Yeah.
always talks about, makes weird analogies about dog walking. I don't want to work with her. I'd be like, that's probably a good idea. I'm going to keep making
Yeah.
those analogies about dog walking.
And I guess it goes back to that whole thing of like, don't shrink your light to fit in places
Yeah.
that you're not meant to be in, right?
Yeah.
I was like, keep being you, and I like not to get all stoic here, but like just to keep being you, and like things will come to you that are meant for you, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
you're
because
less
it's just
painful
meant,
that way.
yeah. And it's interesting because I'm not going to drop names here. It just brings up a memory of like an old coworker that I used to have way back in the day. Great at what he did, but his personality, the way he carried himself, oh man, it almost felt like he was the cancer of the company, right? Because he was bringing everybody down, unfortunately. I'm sure he was going through some things at the time that's probably why like things happened, but it goes back to what you were saying, like just keep showing up and it's really you, you know what I mean? Can you do your stuff? You're selling you at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Telling you.
Okay. Yeah. And this kind of goes into one of the other questions that I have is what are some mistakes people make when they're trying to build their portfolio career?
I think one of the biggest ones is that I think there's two main issues that people run into. One is trying to do everything all at the same time, and
Yeah.
that they think that they have their career and they're like, oh, I immediately have to quit, and then I have to be a painter, I have to be a data analyst, and I have to be this all at the same time, and they all have to make 100 grand in the first year.
Mm,
It's a portfolio career because it's a idea that it's growing and expanding and you're testing things out. It's your career, it's your life. You can build it however you want as long as you're giving whatever that certain project for the day is your 100% like attention while you're doing it.
mhm.
It's going to succeed and grow as you keep watering said plant. The other mistake
Yeah.
I see is that people like they think they have to wait until they're ready. So they're kind of like conversed in that. And so they will
Yeah.
sit there for years and years and years, and they never write that book or they never do anything else. And then what I usually see happen is that they end up getting fired. And because of that, they're forced into testing out things, or they're forced into something else because they're like, I have bills due. Like, I only have so much savings. So I guess there's no better time to write that book than right now.
Yeah.
So if you should start before you're ready, and you'll figure it out. There's the book. It's like,
Yeah.
What Color Is Your Parachute? Admittedly, not my favorite book, but the takeaway idea is good. To like jump and you'll figure it out on the way down.
I love that. And that's the thing that like coming from personal experiences, like even doing the podcast, like I was so terrified of like, oh, I don't have the right camera. I don't have the right music. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to figure it out as I go.
And I think people really like that. Like, we're so afraid. It's interesting that we consume so much media where you're looking at people that we then become like hyper aware of ourselves, and we're afraid to be seen, even if it is something that we're experts in. And like, of course, people want to hear the smart people talk about things, but everybody's smart in a different way. So you just have to find that specific thing or multiple things. And people will come to listen to you talk about it, and they'll have that conversation back and forth. Like, you and I can talk about colors all day, every day, and I'd be super happy about it.
Yeah. Or how earlier we were just talking about potatoes. I was like, what?
You find people who like it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. And there was another thing that I was thinking about in regards to just like my personal brand too, because I think it kind of goes back to like being multifaceted and being like, there's so much to everybody, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I was like, oh man, what if I bring back, this is something that I used to do way back in the day. Both Mariah and I reside here in Arizona. In high school, I was the top 5th board of chess.
I think we talked about this briefly. That's so cool.
Yeah, and I was like, I should bring that back. In regards to just like us, that's what like I love strategy, because I've always had it already in regards to playing chess and stuff like that. And I was like, how can I merge them together? Still on the drawing board.
Like a women's only chess meetup group, and you could like sell and brand cool like girly pop colored chess sets for them to learn. It's like a networking event.
Oh, I like
come together, learn to play, trade secrets. No boys allowed.
Yeah, get out of here, boys. I like that. All right, see,
there's opportunities everywhere. It just depends on which one you want to pick to go after.
Yeah, and why not, right? Like, it's one of those things. It's like, if it fails, oh well, at least you tried it out, right? There's been a lot of things that I did that I was like, oh, that didn't work out. It's okay. We're over here.
You only get like, what is it, 80 to 90 years if we're lucky. So you might as well test out.
Yeah, I saw this one thing on Instagram, Squirrel Moment here, where this dude pulls out a ruler, right? Like those little string rulers. And he like put where his age at, and he cut it off, and he's like, this is how much I have. And it was like this little, and he's like, you think I'm gonna waste this? And I was like, that is good. I was like,
it gives me anxiety just thinking about the visual.
Right? And I was like, yeah, and I was like, that's really good. And I was like, and I thought of the same thing. I was like, what if I did that? And I was like, and I posted on like my board, and I was like, no, that's gonna give me anxiety, because I'm gonna be like, I can't rest. I gotta do things.
There's a calendar like that. I think it's what is it called? It's not the big ass calendar. There's a calendar that basically it's every week for 100 years laid out on one giant piece of paper.
Yeah.
And they're like teeny tiny squares, obviously.
Yeah.
But for people to schedule and like look at their year, and a lot of them will black out the days that have gone by. So you're just watching it get smaller and smaller. That gives me an existential crisis. But I know there's a lot of people who are like, I want to try, one new thing a month. That would be a good way. They're like, okay, the next month is all blue. We're going to do blue things during this.
Oh, I like that. I recently came across this thing of doing things in seasons. So this season, like summer season, personal for me is like, okay, a lot of self-care. So doing the hair masks all over again, you know what I mean? But also like doing a lot of fitness stuff. And then the next season will be a lot of like business stuff and so on and so forth. I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of like that. I like the
nature does it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, then for the winter time, I'll definitely be a bear and go sleep in.
Hibernate. Watch your movies. Get your media inspiration in during that time.
Stay in the jacuzzi, be a human soup. We're good. Oh, I love it. Okay, last question, promise. For someone listening today who feels stuck in their traditional career path, what's one thing that they could do this week to start exploring other opportunities?
So I have 2 suggestions. This is the question I was most excited for, everybody who's watching or listening to this. One, there is a book that I have been listening to, which is called Designing Your Life. And it gives you a bunch of exercises and just how do you explore the things that you like and what would your life look like if you went after that. And it is written by two professors that actually teach this class at Stanford. So you get a Stanford class in a book or an audiobook version.
Yeah.
And while I feel pretty good in like my portfolio career, I can see if you were brand new that this would be like mind blowing, and you can listen to it and do the exercises at your own pace. And they kind of talk about doing mind maps, sort of like those bubble charts we did as kids, where you're like, oh, I like, again, dogs. I could be a dog walker. I could be a veterinarian. I could be a dog photographer, and just like you spin off ideas. So I would
Yeah.
suggest reading that book. But another one, which is actually what I did to figure out like some other things I would do besides marketing, there is this concept called, and I'm so sorry, one, I know that I am a Caucasian American woman about to say this. There's a concept which means the way of being, and it's Japanese, and it's called the Ikigai, and it's spelled Ikaig,
Okay.
Ikigai, I think it is. And the idea is that like what is the intersect between what you like to do, what delivers value to the world, what can you get paid for, and what are you good at? And there's a bunch of quizzes that you can
Ooh.
take online, and basically it'll show you like in rings what is like the most viable and the least viable. My most viable was writing a book, so I was like, you know what, I am going to do that. But everything within those circles kind of like sparks ideas. You're like, oh my gosh, I could like, I don't know, be a skydiver. Like people would pay me to do that, and I would
Yeah.
love it. But the important thing to remember is like when you're looking at this, you don't have to just do the middle circle. You can test out all the other things and decide, you
Yeah.
know, like I do want to write a book, and I want to be a dog walker, and I want to be a skydiver, and I want to work in
Mhm.
marketing. So I would like just be open to the idea, and you have to put in the work to decide what you're going to do. And then based off of that, like research each individual thing.
Have you ever played Zelda by any chance?
No, I've watched a lot of people, but I've not played.
Okay. So kind of on the concept of that, like there's the main mission, right? Is saving the princess, but there's so many other side quests. Focus on the side quest and the main mission. Have fun with it, right?
Stay in your main mission. We talked about don't just quit your job.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
main viable option. But don't feel like you're stuck. You can explore other things, especially like I think a lot of people get caught up in the idea that you can only explore when you're young. One, modern medicine. We live a lot longer than we used to. So
Yeah.
being young is relative. But two, if it has a low barrier to entry, whatever you're trying out that you don't have to invest a lot of money in, you're always going to spend the time. So you might as well spend the time experimenting,
Yeah.
and like maybe your kids, you know, they have to watch TV or go outside and play for an hour so that you can, you know, take a test to go be like a notary or something like that. Like the payoff will be there eventually. You just kind of got to figure out what is worth it for that small amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good. I'm excited to cut that one up and use it on like reels or something. That was really good.
I also have
Okay.
one other tip that we talked about earlier that I'm going to plug,
Yes.
is that if you are going to do this and you're earning money through all these different avenues, absolutely get a like register a business as an LLC or an S corp and get someone to do your taxes for you. Jesse and
Yes.
I were talking about lettuce.co is a great application for that and does everything for you. But then you can get paid in one singular way, and it takes away a big stress, which I've recently figured out, and you don't have to do it yourself. So I know that I think is a barrier to entry for a lot of people. They're like, I know I get paid every 2 weeks, and that's like
Yeah.
I don't want to have to think about the taxes. I don't want to have to think about like keeping receipts and things like that. So there's so
Yeah.
much more software and abilities and friends that can do it for you.
Yeah.
Explore that and build a community.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting with that too is that because I've been asked, and I kind of want to piggy off of that. I've been asked like, isn't doing your own thing like LLC and all that, isn't that intimidating? I was like, yeah, I'm like everything comes with pros and
Absolutely.
cons. You know, right? Absolutely. I was like, but I mean, I think it's fun. Personally, I think it's fun because I get to really manage, my time and where things go, where my energy goes, and whereas a 9 to 5, not I'm okay with going back to it, but it's like, oh man, let me just explore more. What's out?
Yeah.
What else is out there, right?
I had a situation where I worked for a company. It was such a cool startup. I loved it so much. And the owner of it was actually like had been a very high up person at Meta. So I was very
Yeah.
excited about working for him. And he basically came out that they couldn't get a Series B to save their life. And they were doing a reduction in force. And they come to me and been like, hey, you're fine, but we do have to do this reduction in force. And so I asked him, I was like, what do you think about me going fractional? Like you will have more pay for everybody else. Maybe somebody else can keep their job and we can try and get this train back on the track. And he asked me, he's like, why would you not want to stay at a 9 to 5, like with the security? And I was like, I'll be honest, at the end of the day, like I believe in me a lot more than I believe in the security of a company that I don't have a huge say in. So
Yeah.
like it may be intimidating, but like Jesse's got Jesse's back. We can figure this out.
I love that. I believe in myself more. Say it again. I
I said
believe
I
in.
believe in myself more than a company I don't really have a say in. Because at the end of the day, like an individual, unless you're in that C-suite, you don't have that much of a pull at a company. And I think that's why so many people, going back all the way to the beginning, I think so many people are looking at portfolio careers is out of that necessity of security, money, and flexibility of time. Like I think those are the three main drivers of why people keep going back to it.
Yeah. Do you think this movement of it is, and this is just me maybe going down the rabbit hole, do you think that because there has been so many layoffs since 2020, like consistently, I've been seeing it, like I was involved in it a couple of times already, and that people are now saying like, I'm done. I'm just gonna carve my own path at
Yeah,
this.
they say that getting laid off is like, this seems a little extreme to me, but they do say that getting laid off is one of the more traumatic things you can go through in your life. So there are a
Mhm.
lot of people, especially because 2020 probably was a overboom, like it shouldn't have happened the way it did, that people are getting laid off multiple times. And so they're setting up barriers so that it doesn't happen to them again. So it makes sense of that reaction back and forth. I'm not sure if we'll stay in this portfolio career or the great boom of it. I
Yeah.
anticipate, like what I think about it, probably for another like 2030, it'll probably adjust again, just as like people are being forced back into office, that they
Yeah.
may be less apt companies to hire agencies or freelancers or fractional work, but it's going
Yeah.
to be a wave always.
Yeah. Yeah. So last question, because this one just, it keeps popping. I know I said the last one was the last one, but this one I was like, oh, this one's great because this was a fun one. So you've been doing your own thing, like business and stuff like that. What are maybe two books that's helped you kind of throughout it all?
Ah, that's a great question. Hold on. I
I got
am
to bring up mine too.
my Kindle.
Yeah.
So I do think Designing Your Life is a great book. That's the one that I've recently found.
Yeah.
Hold on. Come on, Kindle. I also do this thing where I will read a fictional book and a nonfiction at the same time. So sometimes
Yeah.
I get a little confused there. There's one that's very popular. What is it called? And it's specifically for female presenting people, or like who are, or people who are willing to think of the, like, not ignore the pronouns that are in this book. Where is
Yeah.
it? I'm sorry, you're gonna have to cut out all this dead air as I figure out what this book is called.
No, you're fine. Because I'm bringing up mine too, because there's two that I'm like, oh yeah, I go back to it a couple times. Mm. So while you're looking for yours, I'll share mine. So the one really good one for like selling or just even if it's not selling a product, but like learning the art of sales, pretty much. Sell it like Sir Hand. He's a guy that
It's a fun title. I'm into
yeah,
it.
he's oh man, so good. His name is Ryan Serhant. He does real estate. I want to say it was for New York, but the way he kind of just goes throughout the book, I just audio listen to it. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, okay. Like one of the suggestions that he said is do what's the thing when you go like kind of go do acting for a little bit and just get in the role, but you don't take it serious. It's just
Like improv.
improv, thank you. He does improv and he's like, go do improv. Because when you get into those situations where, you know what I mean, you don't know what to do, you need to be quick on your feet. And that's what improv does. It gets you quick on your feet
Yeah,
to
sure.
start maneuvering. And I was like, oh, that's so smart. And I did do it. I did try it a couple times.
Did you
And
like
sure
it?
enough, I did. I was like, okay. And one of the skits that I did, I was a sweet old lady, and I was like, oh yeah, I could do this.
You're like, I can't wait to be a real old lady. This will be
Yeah.
good.
I was like, I feel it in my bones. And then another one was The Five Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick. I'm just gonna say Patrick. I'm not gonna say his last name because I'm not gonna pronounce that. I'm gonna butcher it.
What does it
But
start with? So we can look
starts
it up
with
on
an
Amazon.
L.
Oh, okay. Patrick
Yeah.
L.
Yeah. Lincolnoli or something like that. Something like that. That one's so short book, so good of how when building like a multi-structured team, what is it the thing that like really breaks companies? And
Smart.
I'm actually not going to give it all away, but really listen to it. It's so good. And it just makes you like it had me understand that it's not just Debbie Downey, Sally over here that's causing havoc. No, it's deeper than that. There's so many
Yeah,
pillars.
people have layers.
Yeah,
It's
and
an
I was like,
issue.
oh, so good. And then my last one I would say is The Mountain Is You, and that was just more
I
personal.
have it in my list. I haven't read it yet, but
You gotta let me know what you think. Ah, so good. That one read me for filth. I was like, dang it. Okay, fine.
that's the thing. I think so many of the self-help books, and I'll get to my second, are like if you read them, you can apply them to yourself on a personal level, obviously, but also on a business level. So you got to kind of
Yeah.
read them twice if you're really wanting to jump into your own endeavor.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the way I don't know if you do this too, but like when it comes to self-help books, so I chat with my chat a lot. So I have like a whole like uh folder for that for
Mhm.
my self-help one.
Smart.
Um I actually titled it Fix Me. But no,
Please.
help. And so whenever I read like a chapter of it, like I tell it what book I'm reading and then what the chapter was, what was my take on it, and then and then I tell it like help me with the shadow work on it in
Hmm.
regards to personal and business. And then it just lays it on me. And I'm like, okay, let me go cry in the corner for a little bit and then I'll be fine.
Take a moment in my jacuzzi, feel good, and
Yeah,
come back and do
yeah.
things.
Let
Smart.
me go cook real quick.
I did
All right,
find
what?
that one. Yeah. So I have it, Designing Your Life, that one, I would
Mhm.
say is good for as you're experimenting. But I think the biggest thing is you're an entrepreneur. And a lot of people don't want to use that phrase because they think it's like too grand or too, not even too grand, but it's like, oh, I just, break sourdough. I'm not an entrepreneur. They don't want to rise to the occasion, I guess, of it, but you definitely should.
Yeah,
But one part of that is that you have to be a little risk tolerant. Like you can't, if the idea of losing like $100 on a website makes you really nervous, you're not going to be successful. You have to be willing to risk it for the biscuit a little bit. So this book is the one that I was saying that's very like female centered. It's a series of them, and it's You Are a Badass, but specifically the You Are a Badass at Making Money. I
hmm
think it just helps with that risk tolerance. It makes you realize that like every business owner ever,
yeah,
even if they're like a nepo baby, had to start from very little and figure it out. That's why you get mentors. That's why you build a community. That's why you have Google so you can look up things. And it kind of helps with that. That like you have the ability to figure it out. Like the world has complete faith in you. You just have to have faith in yourself.
yeah,
The other one that I would say is if you are looking to build a business, especially if it involves other people. Like I
yeah,
know a lot of times especially as like fractional, you come in and there's already a team, but if you have to build your own team, is the Lean Startup. It talks a lot about production and like if you're a Six Sigma white belt or whatever it's called, there's
yeah.
kind of in that, but it's the idea of like how to iterate quickly and without a lot of capital involved. And you
Mm-hmm.
can really apply that to like anything. Obviously, if it's just you, then it's going to look a
Yeah,
little bit different. But I think that's very interesting, especially if you're not already in business. It lays it out in a very easy to understand way. So figure out
oh, I
what you
love that.
like, believe in yourself, you can make money, and here's how to do it without like rebuilding everything from the very beginning.
Yeah, and you said something really key that I like. I've been using it a lot too. Is you don't have to do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
Like go with your community, right? Ask
Mhm.
questions, find people that have done it before, and pick their brain. Because yeah, we're all not creatures. Oh yes, creatures of habit, but community based.
Yeah, we're supposed
Yeah.
to be in a, I don't want to say a tribe, but we're supposed to have a group of people. And quite frankly, it may be like you may have it as a skill. This is what happened with us. Like I'm a trained graphic designer, but it's not fallen, but it's like my number 4 or 5 skill. Whereas I can go to someone like you, where it's the number
Mhm.
1 or 2, and you're going to do a better job, and you're going to be happier to do it than if I did it. So if we can all do that, there may be something that you don't like, and you're like, oh, Mariah's much better at this, and we can trade. It's going to build both businesses up and
Yeah.
allow us to make that web that is the portfolio career better because you're like, oh, I got to add in this skill, I got to add in this skill, and I love doing it.
Mhm. Yeah. And it kind of goes back to how you were saying, like, see what you're really passionate about and bring that up to the front first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like focus on that and then do all your side quests too. And then yeah, like how you just said. And then you have your community people who are like really good, like like you're really good at marketing. I'm still a baby. You know? I will definitely lean on you and be like, girlfriend, help me out. I'll pay you. Like, let's do this.
Got this. You need a dream team. We got you guys.
Yeah. All right, Miss Mariah. Well, that's all the questions I have for you. I'll go ahead and link everything down below and how people can contact you because I'm sure people are gonna be like, I need to know more in regards to this uh portfolio careers. I'm still learning into it and I'm already fascinated. So I'm like, heck yeah.
You have one. You just don't realize it. I think most people have one. They don't realize it. That's my big
Yeah.
takeaway here.
That's what like when I read it, I was like, oh, this makes me feel good. I don't feel like I'm like a random octopus. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'm
you just
like
need a name for it.
yeah. And I was like, there we go. See, I found my tribe.
It's
All
been
right,
so
but
great. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I know I like prompted it, but I was like, we're gonna have a great conversation about this. I know
oh
it.
no, dude. That like as soon as you said, I was like, yes, right now, let's go. And okay, behind the scenes stuff,
We
we were
chased each
supposed
other to get here.
We're like, the next day we're gonna do it. Wait, no, we can't do it this day. Okay, the next day, no, we can't do this. Okay, this day. And I was like, okay, but
it's just because we have so many clients and so many things in the fire. It was just hard to schedule because we're so awesome.
Yeah. See, there you go. I love that. I love that twist. All right, Mariah, thank you so much. Again, I'll put everything down below. So if anybody needs to contact you, like, please do it. She's plethora of good advice, whether it's marketing business or even just personal business too. Yeah, you found the
I love helping freelancers. That's my favorite, honestly.
All right, girl. Thank you so much. We'll be talking soon.
Yeah, thank you. Go get some lunch.
Okay, bye.